Speedrunning is maybe one of the coolest things you can do. But what is it? And how do I do it? And where am I? And Hell, my name's Buttons, and in short, which is fitting for a speedrun. Is there a camera over here? The original Super Mario Brothers. It's like cool. You know, you got pipes, you got Blue, and oh no, the princess is actually the one that's named Mario. You play as Dale. As much as I love this game, I mean, every time I come back to it and have to go through 1-1 again, I end up having the same question I asked when I had amnesia. I mean, like, come on. Do you know who I am? I, like most players, know this level by heart, tattooed to my brain, because I have to play it every time I come back to the game. A lot of the levels you can skip, but 1-1 is a commitment, and I hate that! So most of the time when I do need to replay the level, I'm holding that run button, and I'm going! Okay, hold on. Let's go back, and yeah, that should be good. Okay, nobody saw that. Let's take it from 1, and I'm going for it, and I'm getting, okay, that was quicker. That was worse, actually. I mean, that same speedy mentality would later on inspire one of Mario's biggest competitors, the iconic Blue. But that mentality also continues to inspire people today to embark on whatever the hell that was. Speedrunning is a form of competition based around playing a video game as fast as can be, oftentimes way faster than intended by employing various tricks, glitches, and exploits, and whatever a pin manip is. Speedrunning has existed nearly as long as gaming itself. Whether we're talking about early forums like Twin Galaxies, where people called gamers would congregate and occasionally lie about their Donkey Kong scores, or people today live streaming dozens, even hundreds of consecutive attempts in the effort of accomplishing the best possible run of a video game. Like, guys, it's Monster Energy Motocross, the official video game. I don't know if we need to be counting milliseconds. When I would play Super Smash Bros. Brawl as a kid, one of my favorite modes in the entire game was Masterpieces. This wide collection of 10-minute loading screens and 30-second demos of Ice Climbers. It was great! Do you think this is what you see when you die? Masterpieces was actually my introduction to Ocarina of Time, now one of my favorite games ever. Granted, the demo was only 5 minutes, which means I only really had enough time to name my character Bobby with an I, and that's about it. But because of that strict time limit, I used to try and challenge myself, see how far I could get into these games. Not far at all, but I think it's important to dream. But to my surprise, there were other people out there who also loved Ocarina of Time, but refused to own it! Except, they weren't just making it past the file select. They weren't even just making it past the first dungeon. They were beating the entire game in the demo. In less than 5 minutes? In less than 4? They spent nearly as long watching the credits as they did playing the game. And the gameplay itself. Oh god, I hope there's not a test. An integral part of the run is manipulating the values of the game's code by blowing yourself up and throwing a fish on the ground. I don't know why. I'm not a wizard, I'm Buttons. We've established this. And despite those being 2 items on my bucket list, despite being enamored with speedrunning for years, I've never actually tried it for myself. And you know what? I think that should change. So join me as today I accomplish my dream of earning the world record speedrun in The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Super Mario 6 Ice Climber. Okay, let's start with something easier. Now, to address the most pressing question, when given the option of speedrunning any video game, why search for Reptar? I mean, why not something cooler like Zelda or Bookworm or Back to School on Wii or Back to School on DS? Well, like my package that broke in delivery, that answer comes in 2 parts.
Oh my god!
The first being that this is a game I know well because I've been playing it like pretty much my entire life, like since I was Tommy for real. Actually, can we cut that line? With everything going on, I don't know if I want to. Rugrats Search for Reptar has remained one of my favorite games forever. Now, is that because I was a fan of the show growing up? There was a show? I mean, I remember watching All Grown Up. That's kind of like having original sin.
Blue going on.
I'm sure I have seen it, but was just too young to remember. By the time that I was actively watching Nickelodeon, though, the channel had already moved on to newer, spongier pastures. Though oddly, I do remember the Baha Men's Who Let the Dogs Out playing during the second movie, which I find especially interesting because I've never seen the second movie. I've never seen any of the movies. I have to assume that I saw it in a trailer or something because, like, of the things that I do know about the second movie, it would be crazy if my only takeaway from it was, yeah, but did you see the Baha Men?
Hey everybody, so editing buttons here. I was just watching a bunch of clips of the movie while editing. Yeah, I've for 1000% have seen this movie, and I did only remember the Baha Men.
Anyway, even at the time, it was clear that of the original 3 Nicktoons, Rugrats was easily the breakout success. I mean, sure, you had Ren and Stimpy for your artsy, aspiring college dropouts, and Doug. But Rugrats was seemingly everywhere for a bit, so it only made sense for Nickelodeon to capitalize on that success with merchandise, home media, a stage show.
Yes!
And of course, video games, Search for Reptar being the debut. Despite remembering very little about the show, Search for Reptar was my game as a kid. I even have the picture. I just loved spending time in this explorable world, listening to its iconic soundtrack, running into walls. I played this game all the time. Even if I can admit, you know, looking back, some better options on the PlayStation 1. I mean, you know, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro 1, Spyro 2, Symphony of the Night. But the character alone of Search for Reptar kept it at the center of my games rotation. And also, you know, let's be honest, also because it was really easy. I wouldn't go as far as to say Search for Reptar is a baby game, per se. It has a lot more going on as compared to an early childhood game, not to mention it's not especially educational. It's much more of a platforming adventure game. And yeah, you do play as an actual, literal baby, but they can also die. At the same time, though, you know, even if it's not technically baby's first video game, it's still pretty obviously a kid's game. Even on the death screen, your character gets back up to show they're all right. As well, and maybe don't mention this around games that are probably good, but I'm just really bad at, but sometimes I kind of prefer having a short and easy adventure with a good vibe. Plus, I mean, you know, it kind of helps the fact that I'm not especially great at video games, and that goes doubly for when I was a kid. Most of my playtime then was usually spent walking around the first level. If I made it any farther, it was usually by accident. Like Crash rarely made it past the first level. Rugrats occasionally made it past the first level. Okay, there's a huge difference. That accessibility combined with my previous experience is what brings me back to the game today. Even if admittedly I haven't played it in years, I still know I can jump right in, know exactly what's going on and exactly what I need to do. So if I'm gonna be the next big name in speedrunning, I have to pick a game that's as perfect for my speedrun as I am perfect at it. Something where the hardest part of the run is setting up the console. Which isn't saying much, it was an oddly complicated process. Okay, so before getting into my initial run, I first feel like I need to tell on myself about trying to set everything up. For this first speedrun, I just wanted to play the game normally, without any knowledge of strategies or records, just playing the game as best and as fast as I can. That said, I have heard that emulation can sometimes be frowned upon in specific speedrunning communities, because it can lead to cheating being harder to spot or even innocuous to the player themselves. Although I didn't know it at the time, the Search for Reptar speedrunning community, which is a thing and we will get to, is accepting of emulation so long as you specify the emulator used. Regardless, I figured it'd be best to play on my physical copy just to be safe. So I went over to my PS1 games and... what happened here? Where is your cover and instruction manual? Why do you need a Band-Aid? Anyway... I'm using an Elgato Game Capture HD plugged into the composite cables of my PS2. Say hello, capture card. Hello!
Oh.
I've tried a composite to HDMI converter before, but at least the one that I had left a bunch of ghosting in the image, so I figured it was probably best to just use the source image, even if admittedly, I still need to figure it out to make it look better. A lot of this footage is done with an emulator, so it's in higher quality. At least my model still accepts composite input. Apparently Elgato stopped supporting it with newer models, and that's just kind of lame. Unfortunately, the trade-off is that Elgato stopped supporting my device. I even downloaded their weird Whole Foods looking app just for it to gaslight me. Like, it has all of its other cousins there, but when it gets to mine, oh, do you want to take a quiz and figure out what your model fit is? Like, no, my model fit is the one that fit into my computer. Eventually, I found the software I needed buried in their forum archives. All right, fine. I gave it a download, fixed my settings. Do I want component or composite? No, I want to go home. I'm still mad, okay? They took my boy off the football team and I don't know why. But whatever, okay? Back to settings. What's my system? Xbox 360? Or the Wii U? Or iPhone 5? Or iPhone 4? Super seniors can play football too! At the very least, I have the game, I have the software, and hey, look at that. It even has a built-in commentary feature. Wow, that does mean I will now have 2 enemies, but hey, let's give the little guy a chance. His parents gave up on him, but that doesn't mean we should. Now, finally, it's time to sit down and play Search for Reptar.
I got it.
Now try again.
Oh my god, what did the Elgato do to my mic? I just wanted to play Search for Reptar.
I got stuck.
You know that feeling you get when you come back to something you loved as a kid and slowly have to come to terms with the fact that it's not actually an underrated gem or under-discussed classic, but it's actually just not that good to begin with? Yeah, I had that experience with Search for Reptar. A couple of years ago. I mean, now I'm fully okay with the fact that it's not very good, but you know, it's a comfortable kind of not good. Like a holiday special that you put on every year, even if it's not that great, because no matter what, it always gets you in the spirit. Like I've said, it's not a very long or difficult game, but especially after growing up with it, its characterful episode vignette levels and even its general jank lead to moments that to me feel iconic. Even today, popping the game in every time I'm saying to myself,
Oh, this one sucks.
I mean, there was just so much from this game I remembered, like the mini golf, the Reptar bars, how easy it is to run into things and make Tommy sound like he's getting the wind knocked out of him, the weird Castlevania jump, how every character controls like an RC car, the puzzle pieces, the napkin hands, the outer space level, how Angelica looks like she's having a moment because the game runs so poorly, how easy it is to run into things and make Spike sound like a dying old man, the camera that freaks out constantly, the final level that really doesn't run well. Okay, yeah, this game isn't perfect, but I biasly would argue a lot of the ways that the game isn't perfect actually help bolster my endearment towards the final product. From a quote-quote objective standpoint, end quote, I can easily recognize that these levels are kind of clunky. The collision sometimes is weird, the controls aren't great, and the camera is the worst. But the game isn't charming despite these things. The jank compounds the personality of the game into something that overall feels more playful. That's also not to condescend the dev team that, of course, was probably not trying to make something that was clunky and instead was trying to make something, you know, fun. Rather, it's to say that the game achieves that sense of fun in no small part because of its jank, its shortcomings inadvertently making it more lovable than if it were better. I.E. Comma is a 9 out of 10 at being a 5, only losing a point because some of the levels are actually kind of bad. I'm surprised they didn't put that on the box. Search for Reptar follows Tommy Pickles and his gaggle of also babies as they go on adventures to collect the 14 missing pieces of their Reptar puzzle. Puzzle pieces can be collected by completing levels, which can be attempted in any order with higher difficulty levels unlocking later, or by collecting 15 Reptar bars, which are scattered all throughout the hub world and different levels. Already, this setup makes the game pretty interesting for a speedrun, kind of like Mario 64. I think some people speedrun that game. I don't know, it's kind of niche. Part of the fun with your run is playing the game with remarkable skill in addition to planning the most efficient route to take while you play. Is it faster to do this level before that one? Or maybe you should do this level but do it out of sequence, or maybe you should just do that level and skip this one entirely. That last point particularly pertains to Search for Reptar because of the Reptar bars. Not only are there more levels than there are puzzle pieces, but 3 of those puzzle pieces can be obtained outside of completing levels. But all that is getting ahead of ourselves. First, I need to complete the most frame-perfect trick in the entire run. Ah, shoot. Okay, how do I go back? After a cutscene and 2 menus, like a jacket when you're told to take off your jacket, I was off. Again, I don't know what the technically correct route is at this point, so I'm just kinda going with my gut. But my gut is tossing and turning at the thought of playing Chucky's glasses. Gross. This level's fun. I mean, it should be, but I hate it now. But we'll get to it. Here we find somebody's favorite character being hazed into playing hide and seek. I know we're supposed to see Angelica as a bully, but literally everybody goes along with it. So now we gotta find 3 of our friends hiding in randomized spots all across the house. It's a good starting place for the run, both because it's like 2 feet from the beginning, and also because it gives us a chance to explore the Pickles house, the main hub of the game and where most of the levels will take place. Granted, it's potentially annoying that they all hide in new spots every time you play the level, and most of those spots are upstairs, requiring you to Shadow of Colossus your way up there. But you know what? That random element is kinda neat. And I wouldn't have it any other way. And if I ever say differently, I hate fun and I smell bad. You know what, just for fun, I'm gonna give these levels scores. And I'll start by giving Chucky's glasses 2 out of 3. Next up is Ice Cream Mountain. Yes! 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 I like this one. It's a very simple golf game, but you know what? It's a bit of variety. It also lets you play as nearly every character in one level. And sure, it can be a bit slow considering that there are loading screens and cutscenes between all 9 holes. And not to mention, it's one of the rare golf games that makes you walk to your ball. But you know what? I'm giving Ice Cream Mountain a 3 out of 3. I like it. And I think the speedrun moderators will agree that the fun you have is worth the time you waste. And if they don't, they hate fun and they smell bad. And before we can choose our next level, the game sends us into a bonus stage, like a crisp bandit. No More Cookie sees the babies working together and passing a box of cookies around before Angelica has a chance to have any. Again, I don't understand how she's the bully. 2 out of 3. Like someone at a pawn shop who's getting increasingly desperate. Next up is Grandpa's teeth. Grandpa Pickles puts his loose teeth down and they get taken by a dog, and then Chucky gets taken by a goose. The hijinks were inevitable. So, okay, here's the thing. You know, I feel like we're friends at this point. You've listened to me talk about capture cards long enough that I feel like I can trust you to hear about the first big error that I made during this run. I know, it's been quite flawless up until this point. However, you see, here's the thing. Buttons, in real life, have very little sense of direction. If I'm going somewhere, I'm leaving an hour early and I'm getting there on time. And unfortunately, despite my best efforts, that moral failing persisted in my search for Reptar speedrun.
And we're back at the beginning.
This level isn't hard, okay? It's not. It's just the first section of it is a maze in quotes, and there's a goose everywhere, and I don't have a map, and I don't know where I am, and I'm scared. This maze alone took me nearly as long as the entirety of mini golf.
This is back at the beginning, right? Yeah, fuck me.
But eventually, after several minutes, I found my way out.
Oh my god, first try.
Got to a section that cannot be healthy for a baby. Got to a boss fight in quotes where I got to shoot hockey pucks at Chucky by accident, also in quotes, and finally gave the level a 1.5.
That was efficient.
Next is another bonus stage. Mirrorland sees Tommy in Tommy House but upside down, collecting balloons to float back up to Tommy House but right side up. It's okay. You know, you gotta go through the whole house, so it's kind of long, but you know, it's all right. It's a 1.5. You know, it doesn't bode great that 2 of the levels I've played so far have been the longest in the whole game, but you know, that's fine. You know, I'm sure I'm still on world record pace.
I frankly have no concept of if I'm doing well. I'm probably not. I don't know like how off I am. I don't know what the world record run of this is. It's probably like half an hour.
You know, because it's so close, let's do our first hard level, Toy Palace. Walk through a hallway as Chucky, and then most of the level is platforming and collecting boxes as Tommy. And this feels like a good time to mention that the platforming in this game is way too plentiful for how awkward it is. Your jump has this weird delay on it, and your distance is, I think, based on how long you hold that direction during the delay. It makes what should be really simple platforming sections feel like a gamble, and that only compounds the fact that I'm not very good at it. 1 out of 3. I left the other 2 points at that start. Afterwards, I did Circus Angelicus, one of the most iconic levels from this game.
Oh, this one sucks.
This level's made up of 3 different sections as 3 different characters, including our first time playing as Spike, as well as our first time hoping we don't play as Spike that much. Then you have the game's sole vehicle section as Lil and Phil, and finally, a part as Angelica that embarrassingly I can never get the hang of, don't worry about. Like the tagline on the box says, this should be easy, but for some reason the delay on the controls just makes it feel so off. But even still, 2 out of 3. It's a good level. Next up is another bonus stage, Tommy Travis Touchdown.
Where's my Reptar puzzle?
This minigame's about the same as No More Cookies, but with chocolate milk. I somehow failed at it and
Now try again.
2.5. Next up is the mysterious Mr. Friend. This one's kind of bad. I mean, all you have to do is fight 1 and then 3 Mr. Friend robots, but that involves dealing with the game's really clunky combat. Like, yeah, I wasn't expecting Rugrats to have the deepest combat system, or any combat system. But to fight the robots, you gotta pick up one of these million Dr. Pepper cans lying around, and then lining up your shot is a pain, and it just doesn't feel good. 1 out of 3. Ugh, after that, I needed a pick-me-up, and so it's my pleasure to introduce to you Cookie Race. This level is dead simple. It is just getting from one spot in the house to the other. But you know what? It's the gourmet race of Rugrats. 3 out of 3! Next is Visitors from Outer Space. The game itself really does not like playing this level, but I think it's pretty solid. It is another non-linear level. Well, you know, non-linear for Rugrats and also my standards. So it's not a very complicated level to navigate, but it still took me minutes. Still, you know, it's a good level. Your blaster's really fun to use. You get to befriend a cute little fish. There's a zero gravity section. Your friends leave you behind in outer space. What is this game's beef with Angelica? 2.5. Next is Gold Rush. You gather coins, it takes forever, and you don't get a puzzle piece at the end. 1 out of 3. Next up, you know, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm pretty confident that I'm still on world record pace. Please don't check, so why not spice things up and throw a hard level in? Incident on aisle 7, more like beaten in 7 seconds, that is. Aisle 7 kicked my ass, dude. It also has paths that go nowhere, the most aggressive enemies and obstacles in the entire game, platforming with a terrible camera, these slippery sections that are the actual only time you need to use the dedicated walk button. And then, after getting bonked so hard I died on impact, my disc decided it was going with Tommy and just stopped showing me the game.
What's happening? Wait, what? Huh?
I ended up needing to reset the entire level, and I was worried it would take me off world record pace.
Hopefully I didn't lose time.
But then I made it to the final room, and I died again, and got sent back to the hub world.
Returning to the Pickles home.
So I ended up needing to play the whole level again, still dying a bunch, still not realizing my Elgato was chewing my microphone.
Huh?
But eventually, I beat this stupid 1 out of 3 level. And in record time, no less. Afterwards, I just needed one more Reptar bar to enter the final level. So I found it in Mr. Friend, gross, completed the Reptar puzzle, and finally made it to the last level of the game, Reptar 2010. I don't know why it takes place in the near future. We're almost done.
Let's go. I don't have to do the stupid Spike level I hate.
Here you get to play as Reptar and smash up the city in a pretty straightforward path. Not so straightforward that I didn't get lost, but hey, nobody's perfect. And with that, my official speedrun of Rugrats Search for Reptar is complete. Clocking in at 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 16 seconds. I retimed it later, I was wrong, don't worry about it. There are some obvious places for improvement. I doubt the world record involves dying so much the game gives up on you.
Returning to the
But at the end of the day, I think I did alright. And with that, it's time to compare my run to the records on Speedrun.com and see where I yeah. Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Like with most games on the site, Search for Reptar has two major categories: all levels, for completing the entire game, and any percent, for reaching the end of the game. For example, playing all 32 levels in Super Mario Bros. Would constitute an all levels run, whereas if you used a warp pipe to skip right to World 4, that would be an any percent. So playing all of Ocarina of Time is one category, dropping a fish on the ground and skipping right to the credits is another. Since I didn't play every level in Search for Reptar, I would be comparing my time to the current any percent record, which is terrible for me. For reference, by the time I said this in my run,
I don't know what the world record run of this is. It's probably like half an hour.
the world record run had already finished 6 minutes ago. If I beat the game in the amount of time I spent in aisle 7 alone, I would be in 20th place. However, despite it feeling as such, I did not spend my entire playthrough in aisle 7. If I were to submit this playthrough, with my final time being 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 16 seconds of the 46 active runs of this game, I would earn the prestigious, coveted spot of 44th. Which, life is all about perspective. It's not last, though, bear in mind the person who got 43rd, the current reigning champ of Peppa Pig, the video game for DS, I might add, also mentions in the comment attached to their run, blind run, I didn't know what I was doing. And it's funny you mention it because the person who got 42nd said the same thing. And so did 41st. Again, with all the love in the world, I don't know if we need to be counting milliseconds. Okay. Obviously, I'm not gonna sit here and act like what I did is beyond improvement, but I mean, even still, 44th? 44th! It's not that I need to win. It's just that I can't lose that badly, coach. Okay, put me back in. I promise just one more round and I'll be on... Okay, maybe not Wheaties, but like Count Chocula? More like count me in. All I need is one more shot at it. After I see what everybody else did, because how? Now, to my credit, I was correct in choosing Chucky's glasses as my first level, so we'll just note that right here, and we'll keep this on standby. However, from the moment that I entered this level, my run was already doomed. But we'll get to it. First, the runner, who henceforth will be called the runner, starts the game, enters the first level, and finds all 3 of the missing babies in 72 seconds. Okay. As a quick side-by-side, at my 72-second mark, I had found no babies. And at my 72-minute mark, I had almost beat the game. So that's not close.
Yeah, I for sure started here.
Next, the runner chooses to skip Ice Cream Mountain. Instead, the second level is Circus Angelicus. Afterwards, it's No More Cookies, and then off to Mr. Friend, where I find out I've been playing this level wrong the whole time. Alright, cool. Apparently, you don't need to use the awkward throwing controls, and you can just push them over. Then you're thrown into Mirrorland, and you immediately back out and never come back to it during the entire run. Alright, cool. Next is Outer Space, and then it's off to Tommy's room to play Let There Be Light.
Wait, what?
What do you mean there's a level in Tommy's room? Since when? I don't know if I can properly describe how biblically silly I feel. What do you mean that there's another level? Did the game get patched? Do you have insider information? Did he already beat it? Let There Be Light has you playing as Tommy during a power outage. You go to the kitchen and then you find Spike. Honestly, I skipped this part of the video out of spite. After this is Tommy Touchdown. Get the Reptar bars, use your sister as a human shield, Grandpa's teeth, I'm still reeling. Though surprisingly, the world record speedrun does not include my strategy of getting lost in the woods for 5 minutes. Then it's back up the stairs and into... The 7 Voyages of Cynthia is not the worst level in the game. And despite it being labeled as hard, it's actually a pretty straightforward platforming level. It's just, you have to play as Spike searching for Angelica's Cynthia doll, and Spike is just not fun to control. But again, it's not the worst level in the game. The next one is, the last main level is Aisle 7, and again, surprisingly, the world record run does not include dying several times and having your game throw up in its mouth. And finally, the runner makes it to the last Reptar level, earning the current world record in Search for Reptar Any Percent of 14 minutes and 26 seconds.
Yes! I got it! I got it! Oh my god! Oh! I actually got world what? Oh, we did it! We got it! Oh, that was such a long time coming.
It's worth mentioning that this run, set by 2003041, do I have a 2003041? Is actually fairly recent as of this writing, being set a bit over half a year ago and overtaking the previous record from 2019. In fact, runs for Search for Reptar go back even further, with the oldest surviving run being from 2013, a record of 20 minutes 18 seconds set by runner Lexos. Itself a response to the then world record set by Volvagia earlier that year. Moreover, Speed Demo's archive has posts talking about strategies for runs a year prior, with the site's oldest archive discussion of the game dating back to 2006. And in the over a decade it's been since Volvagia's first world record, runner after runner have contributed to bringing the record down further and further, with the current world record being faster by 5 full minutes. In the description of the current record, 23041 has a quite heartfelt thank you towards the other members of the Rugrats speedrunning community, especially the previous record holder whom it seems inspired this runner over the almost 7 years it took to accomplish this record.
I don't care if Redneck takes the record at this point. I got it once, that's... Oh my god, I genuinely can't believe I got it.
No matter how much I joke about speedrunning Search for Reptar or speedrunning Search for Reptar, nor how much this particular speedrunning community seems to love to try to gaslight me into thinking that there are more levels to this game when I know for a fact. To make it explicit, this endeavor on my end is fully genuine, coming from a place of curiosity and interest. It just so happens that in the process, I found an example of one of my favorite things about the internet, that something as niche and silly as a PlayStation 1 tie-in for a defunct Nickelodeon cartoon could still be bringing people together, even inspiring them to work together and make something that's collaborative and fun. In part, it's also people celebrating all of the developers and artists, level designers, composers, QA testers, animators, programmers, all of the hard work that, yes, was for a corporate product, but is still hard work from a lot of people in service of making that product the best it can be. Of course, it is silly for a bunch of adults to be sharing their best times for a kid's game older than me. And from what I can glean, this community seems pretty aware of that absurdity. But at the same time, it feels like an extension of appreciation for all of the people that helped make our fond memories of this game possible. I know for me, that's part of why I wanted to try my hand at it, to revisit this game that I love and use the imposement of an additional challenge as an excuse to find new enjoyment in it, to extend my appreciation by contributing, even in small part, to this collective effort that I've grown enamored with. Like with the game itself, I'm endeared by the makeshift of it all, because it reminds me of how much care had to go into making it in the first place. So with that in mind, I see my 44th as just a puzzle piece in the larger picture of this community. But with that said, I'm not done. I haven't won yet. Okay, so, funny story. Initially, my plan was to record my attempt of speedrunning Search for Reptar, submit it to the leaderboards of speedrun.com, and that's it, and be done. I thought I would be done. Sounds easy, sounds fun, sounds like a good video idea, me, 2 months ago, without any premonition that this will become your life. However, due to,
Now try again.
extenuating circumstances, that plan had to change. In fact, you know, to put a couple more cards on the table, this video was originally me speedrunning several games and seeing how I stacked up compared to the records. Like, seeing how I stacked up compared to a Mario Kart record. It went about the same. Search for Reptar was just meant to be one of those games I played. The example of a game I grew up with. Something I knew would be niche and maybe could even potentially stumble my way into being a contender at the record. Because who is speedrunning Rugrats Search for Reptar? Stupid idiot. Dumb. And then an ego death called reality hit. I am being so serious when I say that my initial run of Search for Reptar was such utter dog shit that it completely derailed my video and mitosed its way into being its own video. I'm still doing the other video. I have too much footage of Wii Sports not to do the other video. Oh, Buttons, why don't you upload more? Oh, I don't know, maybe it's because I spent 2 days on the Rugrats video speedrunning Wii Sports! Finishing my first attempt in 73 minutes. Like, you understand why I had to check what the record was, right? Like, I died 4 times, and that was still arguably not my biggest setback. I needed to know. Unfortunately, I was then burdened with knowing. For as much as I knew I had other games I needed to try, I also could not let this go. So instead of just moving on like a sane person, I adapted. I watched the top players' records and I took notes, figuring out which routes to take, strategies to use, writing out step-by-step directions for the easiest hedge maze in quotes, all in the effort of playing this game at least better, man. So when the time came for my second crack at it, I was ready. Then a couple of hours passed.
I have notes. I took notes. Why did I take notes?
As mentioned, the first level in your run is Chucky's Glasses, where all you have to do is find 3 of your friends hiding in different parts of the house. It sounds easy. Quite literally, it's labeled as easy. But here's the thing. The hiding spots of the different babies are completely random every time you play this level. So in my initial playthrough, all of the babies decided to take the Great American Journey up the stairs, while in the current record, by 2:00:3:04, the level went by surprisingly quickly, because all of the babies just happened to spawn near the starting area. Wow, I guess I know who your real friends are, Phil! So when I said that my run was doomed from the start, I wasn't just saying that because it made me feel better. I was saying that because I feel better when I hear the truth. So when I entered my run and it had the distinct stench of doomed, I mean, I had no choice. I had to bring out my secret technique. Giving up. Thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure to leave a like, comment your social, and hey, why not see what that report button does? From what I can recall, there are a bit over 20 different hiding places, but for simplicity's sake, we'll just say there are 20. That nets you an estimated 12.5% chance of getting them all downstairs every time you play this level, which you need to have any halfway decent time. It is just luck. It's worth mentioning that there is a potential way of influencing the game's RNG system, but whatever it is doesn't exist anymore. If there's no fish to drop on the ground, stop wasting my time! So despite my fervent, self-proclaimed, and transparently fake ambivalence,
I don't even care about getting the record. I literally don't even care about getting the record.
I decided to restart my run and hope that I get better chances on the next one.
And I'm gonna do this, and I'm not gonna screw it up this time. Oh, I've already lost a shit ton of time, actually. Okay, well, okay.
And so, I tried again.
It's like nobody wants to work these days. I'm already so far over time. Ow, 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 ow.
And again.
No, Tommy.
And again.
Am I wasting precious seconds? Yes. Am I mad about it? Yes.
And again.
There's no way he does it in 112.
And again.
Party rockers in the house tonight.
It took me until attempt 15 to get past the first level. And I still had to reset.
I never made it this far.
Of the runs I did, you know what percent didn't make it past the first level? 91%. And I know what you're thinking. Wow, your life is so hard. And also, I mean, if the odds are so stacked against you, I mean, how many runs would you even want to put into a game like this? Like what, 15? It's 20 at most. God forbid 30. Right? Buttons? Buddy? I put in. Look, I know! Why not stop at 225? Well, because I had to go back and play it on the emulator, you know, for like higher quality B-roll. 226 runs! And the next time that I made it past the first level was attempt 42! And then I died on the Cynthia level! Maybe I should consider that the game just doesn't like me. And maybe it has a good reason not to. You see, something I overlooked with all of these speedruns was that they weren't just playing the game well, they had swag. Obviously, the game was spitting me out because I was trying to join a club that I simply didn't have the loot to be in. I mean, when you look at this, what do you notice first? That's right, not the years of experience over me. You see the face cam, the clocks, the confidence. What I needed was an upgrade to my gamer gear. Now, despite the obvious importance of my search for Reptar speedrun, this somehow felt like an inappropriate time for a face reveal. So instead, I looked up tutorials on how to make the most annoying word for Scrabble, a PNG VTuber. I did the illustrations kind of quick to keep from getting distracted.
Oh god.
Introducing to the world, Sticky Buttons, my child, my hairy child. Then it was time to set up my clocks, or as somebody who's trying to seem cool when referring to their favorite Hanna-Barbera virtual band would say, it's time for the splits. I, frankly, did not understand the program, and I could only use it in a browser because there's no Mac version, and so I just kind of used the world record splits, and God, I hope that's okay. It's time to import everything into OBS, including my Elgato game capture. And OBS doesn't recognize my game capture because I need the most up-to-date version of Elgato Studio, which doesn't see my model. Are you kidding me? I screen recorded it and composited everything in post. We're just all gonna have to be okay with that. And here are the results.
Oh, I'm supposed to skip this. Dramatic is it if I put my phone on Do Not Disturb because I'm speedrunning search for Reptar. Left, left, right at brick. Oh, please, 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 please. No! If Tommy's in this room, I'm not gonna reset. All right. Is it toxic for me to put the world record splits as my comparison? 1000%. Is it gonna stop me? It should.
After getting some alright luck in Chucky's glasses, I was set. However, I did immediately screw up in the second level, and then accidentally enter a level I wasn't supposed to play at all.
Toy Palace isn't one of them. No, 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 no.
Twice.
No, Toy Palace isn't it. I keep thinking Toy Palace is fucking, I can't even think of what I think it is.
But 2 resets later, and I was back, and ready for most things, maybe not everything. I cleared the first level, went rogue from my plans for some reason.
I gotta go rogue.
Didn't get lost, thanks directions, slayed a level that doesn't exist, still died in aisle 7 twice, don't worry about it. And finally, once I was done with all of the levels, all I needed to do, oh my god, I don't have enough Reptar bars. Well, have you ever tried tried hitting the bell without subscribing? You should do it and subscribe. Yeah, so despite my thoroughness to write down directions for a level that is really close to being a straight line, I somehow didn't write down where any of the Reptar bars were. So by the time I planned to enter the last level, I instead became a beggar for loose chocolate bars. Who is leaving these around? We have a dog. Why is there one outside his house? I decided it'd be best to look in a level I hadn't played yet in the run. Ice Cream Mountain. Yeah! Sure, all the loading screens and cutscenes do make it pretty easily the slowest level in the game, but also, there's gotta be extra Reptar bars. Okay, maybe it's in the second hole. Okay, maybe the third. Okay, maybe the fourth. Okay, maybe the fifth. Okay, maybe I should quit. So it turns out that the Reptar bars that are on the course are on the later courses. You can earn Reptar bars earlier by scoring a hole-in-one on any course. So yeah, I ended up dragging my feet to Cookie Race. I don't want to talk about it. Buttons, please, there's a Reptar bar that's right behind the entrance. You don't need to play this level, there's a Reptar bar that's right there. Buttons, please don't play Cookie Race! I did it.
Yes!
After not getting lost as Reptar, which shouldn't be an accomplishment, my second attempt, which was also my 79th, was complete.
Thank God I counted milliseconds.
Earning me a new time of 42 minutes and 53 seconds. For comparison, that's over 30 minutes taken off of my previous time. I mean, in that time, you could watch the world record twice. With a final time of 42:53, my new projected placement on the Search for Reptar leaderboards would go from 44 to 37th. I mean, come on, that's one place below the runner whose own comment says, "Terrible run, I'm so sorry." Let's give it up for day 4, or like whatever number we're on. Let's go, dude. On attempt 83, despite some bad RNG in Chucky's glasses and also still needing to play Cookie Race for an extra Reptar bar, I was able to bring my time down by nearly 14 minutes by just playing the game better and not dying during a speedrun, bringing my new personal best down to 29 minutes and 3 seconds. The better I get at this game, the more insane it is that it took me over an hour. I mean, there are literally full movies shorter than my first run. I mean, in that time, you could watch all of Inestella 5, 5, 5, 5, 2, 0, 0, 3. I continued to do runs and ended up with a bit of a streak going between attempts 101 and 103. Now, with 101, I did have a couple of mistakes, and then also died and had to reset over half an hour in, and I'm really only considering it part of the streak so I can justify the wasted time. But with run 103, I was able to get all of the Reptar bars I needed by aisle 7, letting me skip Cookie Race and finish the game in 27 minutes and 42 seconds. But on run 102, I got my best RNG yet in the first level and cleaned up enough mistakes early in the run that I made a maze with quotes look like a maze with question marks, which of course brought its own pressure of choking. But I knew that this had to be the run. I was determined to make this the run. When I made it to aisle 7, I got my last Reptar bar and finished the level in my fastest time yet. I could feel the 100 runs behind me, guiding me through the final level. Every step Reptar took, bringing me closer to my destiny. Until finally, my new personal best for Search for Reptar any percent, 25 minutes and 53 seconds. Meaning that on the Speedrun.com leaderboards, I would be projected to earn... Third? I would get third place. I would get third. I can't believe it. Oh my God. I really did it. I got third place. Oh, wait, no, I was looking at the all levels category. Sorry. All right, let's, okay, so I would get, 32nd. I would be in 32nd place, actually. Well, at least it'll be easy to fix the cake. So after all of that, I'm sure I know what you're thinking. Is that cake good? No, it's not. I bought it when I started this whole thing. Do you guys know that cake is perishable? Yeah, me neither. As well, after all of that excitement, where does the any percent record stand today? Well, you'll be happy to know that it stands exactly where it did before Don't Rub It In. However, after my 25:53, I ended up putting another couple, over 100 runs into the game to get my aforementioned total of 226 runs. And if you don't believe me, you can see the tallies right here on my therapy notes. That's not a joke. These runs are a bit less exciting to go through because I did these off the record, without my gamer gear, without the pressure of being 30 seconds. That said, here are some things of note from these runs. One of my final times came out to be 28 minutes exactly. That's kinda neat. I played the game long enough that my controller died. The game both hard and soft crashed on me. By the end of these runs, I was able to accomplish new times of 32:05, 26:58, 28 minutes flat, 24:59, and a new personal best of 24 minutes and 1 second. And you know, I'm pretty happy with it. I got to revisit a game that I loved and make my own little dent in trying to speedrun it, and I mean, what more could I ask for, really? Is what I would say if I didn't somehow have an update. So, turns out I was wrong. We return to this post in search for Eptar's guide section on speedrun.com. Within this post, this user describes an exploit that they found that influences the game's code so that in Chucky's glasses, presumably, all 3 babies will always be in their most optimal spots. Unfortunately, the attached tutorials exhibiting the exploit weren't properly archived, so I wasn't able to verify the strategy or if it worked. Moreover, this was the only post specifically about the exploit, and though I had heard runners talk about RNG in the game, I hadn't seen anyone mentioning or employing an RNG manipulation. So I figured whatever this was, it was probably just either forgotten or made obsolete by other strategies. Later on, while doing supplemental research, I realized that I hadn't watched the root tutorials that were also in the guide section. Instead, I took my notes while watching the actual runs themselves. But, you know, I should probably comb through these too, just to cover my bases, in case I missed anything. Although any percent is the category that I've been primarily working within, it was the all levels tutorial that contained something I wasn't ready for.
The very first level we're going to be going through is Chucky's glasses. It's an RNG level. It's an RNG level that we use a manipulation for.
Well, that was quick.
This first manip shouldn't be that hard. It might take a while to learn it, but it's not that hard to get it down. So I'll show you what it looks like. Like that. So when you
RNG-MANIP. Named as such because it's a random number generator manip. And furthermore, how the trick actually works.
The RNG for this game is set up by 2 different variables. It's set up by the time. It's also set up by your stick presses. There's no real science about it yet.
Nobody seems to actually know.
We're still trying to figure that out.
But the theory is that if you hit start game when Lillian enters the bottom left of the title screen, and then when gameplay starts, you jump before entering the level, all of the babies will consistently be in the best spots in the first level. That is to say, the fish has been found. Now, by this point in the process, I had done 226 any percent runs. And even though this was supposed to be a cute little surprise for later, I don't know, just kind of pretend you don't see the money in your birthday card for a minute. I also tried my hand at an all levels run, and also lost my mind doing it like before, attempting an additional 89 runs. Meaning, after a total of 350 15 different attempts at speedrunning this game with the rest of the script already written, suddenly I find the phrase that will be in Comic Sans on my tombstone. And yet, as easy as it would be to walk away at this point, like, of course I have to see if it works. Are you kidding? Its government name is RNG-MANIP. So it's back to the PlayStation, back to the main menu, and time to see if I can do this right. Okay, so all I gotta do is hit the button as soon as Lil is in the bottom left, okay? Got it, okay, great. So after the loading screen and introduction, I jump once and then move forward and then left once. Okay, great. I think that's it. I don't know if the movement's part of it, but that's what they did. I feel like I'm unlocking Sonic and Melee. I feel crazy. Okay, so if I performed this right, then Philip should be behind the trash can. But that's if I performed You have got to be fucking... Okay, so after I found out that RNG-MANIP was a thing and a replicatable technique, I wanted to see if implementing it made a considerable difference on a speedrun. Of course, once I decided this, I stopped being able to replicate it. So if for some godforsaken reason performing RNG-MANIP is your saw trap, the basic strategy is timing it so that Lillian is in the bottom left when you hit start. However, it won't always work if you reset from the pause menu. So what do you do if quitting doesn't work? Quit harder. The most consistent method of accomplishing the correct timing in full sincerity is hard resetting your console, after which the appearance order should be Tommy and then Lillian. No person should know that information. As for my final totals, okay, I'll just get this out of the way. In my final asterisk gameplay session incorporating RNG-MANIP, I made an additional 21 run attempts, which, when combined with my initial 225 any % attempts, my 89 all levels attempts, and my all levels attempt on emulator, brings my grand total to 336 attempts at speedrunning Search for Reptar. I have a master's. As well, this final session included all 3 of my best any % times. A 23-22, followed by a 23-21. Like, for serious, these happened back to back? That's kind of weird. And finally, my current best time of 21 minutes and 26 seconds. And in case you are wondering, my previous best time of 24:01 would have earned me the spot of 30th. And I know that beyond projection because I submitted the run thinking I was done with this video. Meanwhile, my actual personal best of 21:26 is projected to bump me up to 29th. Whoa. While I waited for my run to get approved, just for fun, I tried my hand at an all levels run. Isn't that a fun surprise? Let me have this. The all levels route is pretty similar to the any %, but of course you don't need to worry about collecting Reptar bars, and you have to complete all the stages that you would otherwise skip, like Mirrorland, Mini Golf, Egg Hunt. Oh my god, this can't happen twice. Who is Egg Hunt? How did this happen for a second time? Am I going crazy? We're not doing this again, okay? Welcome to the family, son. In the end, I earned a time of 40:24, meaning that of the 14 active runs, I am projected to earn 12th place. Is what I would say. Oh my god, not this too. Literally the day that I started doing all levels runs, a new runner was able to accomplish a world record in the category, a 25:06.
Yeah, I'm in that Tonka color of Willy Wonka.
Which, yeah, because these records are subject to change, does mean that my information might be a little out of date.
Speaking of out of date information, she already beat it. She has a new time. It's a new world record. Still pending, but that's kind of cool. Congrats.
And I know that my 300-something is, frankly, chump numbers compared to the literal years that other people have put into this game. However, after fumbling my way down the stairs and into this community that I didn't even know existed until now, it's nice seeing people online come together in friendly competition, helping each other out in their efforts as reverence for that competition and the game they're in. So, sure, I may not have the record yet, but for now, I'm just as happy seeing my name on the leaderboards amongst everyone else who has tried their hand at this silly but fun competition, especially knowing that I have something that no other runner can say that they have, and that is an Elgato Game Capture HD that still works, babe! Oh my god, what was that?